Well, hi YouTube viewers, this is Darren from My RV Works. Welcome to another session with me where it's 10 minutes with an RV tech. And basically we're gathering questions that have come in from all the different ways that they come into our business. People asking questions because they've seen our videos, and that generates questions. So we threw all the questions in a fishbowl. I got a team behind me that's kind of helping me do all this kind of stuff. We throw them in a fishbowl. We got a database here that I just kind of go through and answer your questions. So that's what's going on this end. I'm sitting in my Lance camper, but what I'm going to be doing, I think, and I'm excited about it, is once the weather gets agreeable, it's kind of raining. It was raining earlier. Is we'll get me out and about in different venues to do these things. So you're not looking at my it's a story of the shoe cobbler with the barefoot kids. I'm an RV tech, and I've got 3 RVs, actually 4. And they're in different states of disrepair. But anywho, so that's what we're doing. So we got questions, and I give my answers to those questions, and we're trying to build a collective knowledge base, if you will, that people can just kind of jump in 10 minutes. Sometimes I'm going a little bit longer, sorry. And but the whole point is to add value to you guys. Okay, so if this does add value to you, then check us out on Patreon. You could subscribe to our channel. The 5 people that are, I'm one of 5, so the 4 people that are behind me that are working on this thing, I'd like to compensate them, and that's where that would be coming from. We could take them out to dinner, and it'd be on you. Yeah. So we got some questions here. So let's jump into the questions. I got 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Here, let's see if I can get through 15 of them this time. Probably not. Let's see. I have a Coleman Mach. Okay, good air conditioner. Like that one. It's one of my favorites. When it cycles off after reaching the correct temperature and goes to restart, the compressor will try to kick on for a second or 2 and then shut off. And continue to do this until I shut the unit off and let it sit for about 10 to 20 minutes, and then it kicks on and runs great until it reaches the correct temperature in the camper and cycles off. The fan runs great, the thermostat runs great. What is the problem? Okay, the first thing I would think of what gave it away to me right there is this 10 to 20 minutes where you let it sit. That right there was really important information, because what I think is going on is I think you have an icing problem. I do. I really think you have an icing problem. So what I would like to do to look into that, well, first of all, when it turns itself off, I would need proof that air conditioner is turning itself off because the temperature inside the RV was satisfied, and not because the freeze sensor told it to turn itself off. So you need to prove that. Does that make sense? So I don't know, you have a Coleman Mach, but I don't know if you can get to it from the bottom or if you have to get to it from the top. If you can get to it from the bottom, great. You can kind of take the ceiling, plane them down, and peek up in there and see if there's ice buildup on that evaporation coil. If you can't, then you're going to have to go in from the top, and that's a little bit more involved, but it'd still be done. So basically take your shroud off on the top, take all those screws off to get that little panel off, and well, no, you got a Coleman Mach, so that's going to be like 4 or 5 screws, and that little plastic black thing comes off, and you got these little clips. You got to take a screwdriver and pop them off. But so let it run, and when it is that would be if you have to get it from the roof, you have to go through the top. But anyway, so what would cause icing? There's lots of things that would cause icing. The first low-hanging fruit, most obvious thing is your freeze sensor is not inserted into the absorber fins. So basically, warm return air gets brought in. You got a 14 by 14 inch hole, and this air conditioner is going to do all of its magic and all of its cooling and all of its amazing comfort thing, dehumidify your coach and cool your coach in a hole in your roof that's 14 by 14. That's pretty incredible. We're asking these things to do a lot of things, and we're wondering why they can't keep up. Well, it's only got a 14 by 14 inch hole to do the job in. So air's being drawn in. It has to go through those little absorber fins. The evaporation coil. That's where the freeze sensor needs to go, because if that thing gets really, really cold, there's a freeze sensor that's always turning that compressor on and off, on and off, on and off. You'd be surprised how many times your compressor turns on and off, on and off, on and off. Getting too cold, okay, buddy, turn off. Keep everything running, but just turn the compressor off. Okay, turn it back on again. As it's dehumidifying and cooling the temperature in your RV, and then in the other half of that 14 by 14 hole, it cools it and dumps it right back again. It's only got a small space to do all this amazing work. So I suspect freezing in your situation there. And so make sure your freeze sensor's in. Make sure that your freeze sensor, there's ways to check those things. your absorber, I'm sorry, I'm calling it an absorber, your evaporator coil, that's where the refrigerant is evaporating, and when it evaporates, it absorbs heat. Make sure that's clean. If that's dirty, that might add to contamination on the fins, which is not helping the airflow go through. Another thing is that divider that's dividing the room air going in. I got a whole other video on that, the divider. It's got a lot of playtime. But the air going in and then going through and coming back out, make sure you have a good divider there and you don't have the situation where the dog's chasing his tail where it's just going around and around and around. So I suspect you have icing situation. Now, if you want to find out if you've got another thing that would cause icing situation is a lack of refrigerant. And so if you want to check that, you'll need a meter that'll check AC, like an AC clamp-on meter. You check the amperage going to your compressor on your air conditioner. And I'm thinking that's a purple wire, because I see down here you got Coleman. So you're going to check the amperage going, AC amperage going to your compressor, and compare that to ambient temperature. And there's a chart. You can go to the Coleman website. I've got the manuals for it, but I think you can get it on the Coleman site. And it'll tell you how, based on this temperature, ambient temperature, this is how the compressor's working. Therefore, you should have this many amps going to it. And if that's all in happiness, then your compressor is happy and satisfied, you don't have a leak. So you can tell more about the health and care and feeding of your air conditioner through the compressor amp draw than any other thing you can do. But on your problem, I think you have an icing problem. And so approach it from that perspective. Okay, I need to move on to my next question. Okay, let me finish with this one. So Music Box. Music Box got a question. Furnace fire, it's a furnace question. So furnace fires up, burns fine for 1 cycle. Second time, the fan runs, that's important. The fan runs and you hear a click, good, and it heats but it won't fire. And keeps attempting to ignite, tick, 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 but will never fire. I turn the whole system off, it seems to reset and it works again, but only runs for the first cycle and it won't reignite. I was thinking a new control board, that the gas pressure is fine. So when I see this on furnaces now, gosh, guys, I've got a lot of furnace videos, and I think I mentioned in a previous video, I've kind of stopped doing furnace videos because I've got so many of them. I'm starting to repeat myself on these videos, on the furnace videos. So you can watch my furnace videos, and I'm sure I've covered this on the furnace video. I can't remember which one it is, but I'm sure I have. So, okay, so if you hear the ticking, clicking sound and it's trying to ignite, what does that tell us all together now? That there's nothing wrong with the sail switch and there's nothing wrong with your high limit thermostat. That control board is totally satisfied that it is allowed to open up the gas valve and it is totally acceptable to strike an arc, okay? So if you're smelling the gas, that means the gas valve is actually, did you say you're smelling gas? That must have been another question. I need to know if you're smelling gas. You probably are. I'm sure you are smelling gas, smelling the LP. It's the ethyl mercaptan. I remember ethyl mercaptan. So anyway, if it's trying to ignite, that means that the problem is overwhelmingly not on the control side, that it's on the burner side. So for you, Music Box, I would look in the burner. Now, you did not tell me what kind of furnace you have. I'm assuming you have an Atwood, which is now a Dometic. Know that. So if you're looking for parts for an Atwood furnace, you need to look for parts for a Dometic furnace, and the part numbers may have changed. So I'm assuming you have an Atwood. I did it again. You have a Dometic furnace, and there's a couple different ways that those burner heads come out, but you need to turn your gas off, disconnect your LP fitting, take a couple wires off. You see me do this in a lot of my videos. Pull that burner head out, and where I think your problem is going to be is in either the burner itself. It might have a big hole in it. It might be all rusted. You might have that electrode that is damaged. It might be touching or too far of a gap, or it needs to be about a 3/16 to an 1/8 of an inch gap on that electrode hovering over that burner. There is an actual sweet spot where that's supposed to be, but overwhelmingly that's not the big deal. Make sure that your ceramic housing on your electrode is good. If there's little cracks in it, moisture can get inside and give it false readings. Make sure your electrode wire is good. If it works fine the first time, I don't think it's going to be your board, or you would see a consistent failure on the board and it wouldn't work. But if it's working fine the first time, then I'm thinking we need to have you look inside of your burner to make sure your burner is good, to make sure your electrode's good, that the gap is good, and the ceramic is good. And so I think that's what's going on. Basically, it's not igniting. And I need to know if you're smelling LP gas. If you're smelling LP gas, then that tells you that what it might be is you have a bad burner. Okay, and I've got videos on those as well. So folks, that's all the time we have for this. I'm sorry I didn't get to more questions, but tune into another one, because we're making a bunch of these videos back to back to back to back to back. And I don't know the order that they're going to be coming out in. I'm not in charge of that. I got a whole team behind me that I make the videos, send them over to them, and then they are the ones that make me look good. Anyway, I love those guys. So you can support our efforts in this by subscribing to our $5 a month Patreon tier. We're just trying to build a collective community where all this knowledge is out there on our videos. We still have a lot of YouTube videos that are coming out on RV repair walkthroughs. And so if this was helpful, give us a thumb up, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, and happy campers, say My RV Works. So until the next video, this is Darren signing off.